Imagine you're begging for help. The police, they decide to ignore you. That's exactly what happened to a man who died after pleading for help. Here's the video.
No. You're right.
No. I can't breathe. When you're talking, you're breathing. I can't breathe.
You're all right.
I'm dead.
You're not dead.
Please.
You're fine.
Hey, man.
Anybody got bigger than
Just let it go.
No.
Not even the shoes on my.
Oh, he's fine.
I'm keeping as far as we can use them. It was crap.
Maybe y'all need these. All powder.
Come on, man. No, that's all right. You ain't been
Yeah, watch that bag, Ryan.
It's a damn shame. Put up his picture. Let me give you some background as to what happened, okay? This was in Arkansas. The edited body cam footage shows a man who died while in police custody. That footage has finally been released. It reveals a man having a medical emergency and the cops ignored his pleas for help. Terence Caffey was arrested after an altercation with employees at the Movie Tavern in Little Rock on December 10th. Law enforcement officials said he died of sickle-cell crisis during his arrest. However, his family and their legal team believe the officer's actions triggered that very medical emergency, leading to his death. The deceased man's family and their attorney sent a letter to the US Department of Justice accusing the officers involved of racial prejudice. They also released a nearly 2-minute video with clips of the incident that they say the county sheriff's office left out of their 43 minutes of footage released last month. They accused the office of a cover-up. Let me give you background to the arrest. The Movie Tavern assistant manager called 911 to report an extremely violent guest who was fighting staff. The security guard is trying to accost him, the caller said. I feel like a gun has been drawn. I don't know who has it. I got bit. Several of my employees were struck. Let's go to the sheriff's office. We got Captain Mark Swaggerty. Worked as a security guard at the theater and was trying to pin Caffey to the floor. The assistant manager later acknowledged that he did not see the 30-year-old black man with any weapons, but had heard gunshots across the street half an hour before the altercation. The hell does that have to do with what's happening at that moment? Nothing. Surveillance footage shows Caffey sitting on the ground in the hallway before throwing his cell phone and keys out of his wallet. Seconds later, he lunges at a theater employee. About 4 other people join the fight and try to hold back Caffey. They loosen him when Swaggerty arrives. The deputy and about 6 employees chase him before the deputy slams him to the ground and restrains him with his body weight. After being removed from the facility, the sheriff's office said the rescue checked on Caffey after, fire and rescue checked on Caffey after 3 minutes, and he did not stop breathing until after he was placed in the back of the patrol vehicle. That's according to their report. He also had a large bloody gash on his temple. The officers and fire rescue, they tried to resuscitate him, but he never recovered, okay? Let's put up the leadership here. All right. You got the county sheriff, Eric Higgins. You also have the prosecutor, the attorney, Larry Jigley. The officers involved were initially placed on administrative leave, but have returned to their post. Larry, the county prosecutor, announced on September 16th that none of the officers were criminally culpable in Caffey's death, and none of them will be charged, right? So we are covering this story because there are a lot of questions still looming. Number one, where's the footage? Why was the footage edited? Two, who will be held accountable for the lie that was told that this was about sickle cell? And three, obviously he's pleading for help and was not granted it. Once he was in the custody of those officers or that deputy, the rules are different. Ben, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, really, at the end of the day, look, police officers say this all the time, and I honestly think that any police officer that says this should be immediately fired. When police officers say, if you're talking, you're breathing, that is literally not true. That is literally not true. Like, there are plenty of instances where people have been able to make noises out of their mouth and are still suffocating to death. So just to be very, very clear, that is something that happens with great regularity. Police officers say that so that they have an excuse. They're doing preemptive cover for themselves to say, I didn't know I was killing this person. I didn't know I was killing this person. And like, that is just one perfect example of how like terrible our law enforcement system is fundamentally in the United States, where there's so much blatant disregard for human life.